Hey guys, it's Ryan here with HobbiesofaMan. Once again, and today we're going to be doing another Transformers review. Today we're going to be looking at issue number 9 with no changes to the team here. Daniel Warren Johnson is still writing, and Jorge Garron is still doing the artwork, and Mike Spicer is still doing everything else necessary for this comic book to exist, right? And this is a great issue. I really enjoyed it. I also really like this cover. It's really simple, but there's something so awesome of like Optimus being in this Atlas pose, holding the world in his hands, right? Like it's really cool. I really like it. It has this kind of like symbolic meaning, right? Because like the fact that the Transformers made it to Earth put Earth in danger, and now Optimus not only has to fight the Decepticons to try to win the revolution or whatever, he also has to protect the Earth, right? And so he himself put this weight on his shoulders, right? So I really like that. I think it's quite good. The thematicness of the cover is really enjoyable, right? So this story starts with the Autobots. Sorry, I was about to say the Optimuses. The Autobots over the Pacific Ocean. Below them, Shockwave and Soundwave are talking to each other. They do something where they both press a button at the same time, and then this opens a Stargate type thing, right? There's this, it almost reminds me of the latest movie when they open the gate for Unicron, and stuff kind of comes out of the Earth and then starts building itself into a giant tunnel. That's exactly the same thing that happened here. This thing turns into a Stargate, the Stargate opens, and the Autobots try to destroy it, crash into it, fall to the ground. That came up with this gate because they were over the ocean, right? So when Shockwave clicks the button, the Earth changes, and now there's this level of dirt over this. It creates like an island, right? And so they crash into this ground that just came up. And Shockwave comes through, and Optimus says, "Oh no," really deeply, like this is a problem. And Soundwave uses Shockwave, who turns into a little gun, to shoot Cliffjumper. Ratchet actually manages to jump in front of Cliffjumper, takes a shot, and he dies, right? But technically, we've seen that dying for Transformers isn't really a thing. Like they can be regenerated later, but for now, he's dead. And obviously this causes a lot of issues for everyone. Optimus fights Shockwave, and there's this really interesting set of dialogue exchange between them. It's also reminiscent of some of the stuff that Optimus said to Starscream before, but now it's with Shockwave, the bad guy, being the aggressor, right? The one that is showing Optimus that he should be afraid, which is what Optimus did to Starscream earlier on in the series, right? So this was great. I really liked this fight. I thought it was really good. Then we get to see Wheeljack and RC, as well as Carly, going into town. They're stopped by the locals, kind of very similar to before, where they set up a barricade to try to stop the Transformers. Carly steps out in the nick of time, and she's like, "Don't shoot, they're with us, they're good guys, please let us through." And we don't really know what happens there with them. However, at the hospital, we get to see that a Decepticon shows up to take Spike. And I think this Decepticon is that like Alpha Magnus equivalent for the Decepticons from last issue. I can't remember his name. But he was badass as fuck, and he shows up and he has this like space shuttle type vehicle mode, and he shows up and he's like, "I need the boy with the spiky hair, bring him to me, or all of you will die. I don't want to kill you, but I need this boy," right? And so Spike decides to show up to stop this Decepticon from destroying this hospital, and the Decepticon takes him, right? We go back to the fight where Optimus is jumped and then suplexed by Shockwave, which is awesome. I really like this. I don't really follow wrestling. I'm not that interested in wrestling, but wrestling moves are so cool, right? And I love that, this gets incorporated into the Transformers a lot here. So I really like that. Then on Cybertron, we get to see that the Alita 1 storyline that we've been following for the last couple issues finally converges with the main story, where she finds this gate, she steps through and hits Shockwave in the back with her gun, and this stops the Combaticons from showing up, who were called in by Shockwave, and were trying to come in through the gate, but she manages to stop it by shooting Shockwave in the back. I'm not exactly sure how, like the correlation doesn't exactly work for me, but it all makes sense, right? And then she saves Optimus from being shot, and forces him to drive away because she has, I think it was Alpha Trion or Ultra Magnus. I can't remember which one she has with her. But she forces Optimus to transform. And I don't really understand why Optimus listens to her, because he is the leader of the Autobots, right? So why is Alita able to force him to do something, right? And it's not like she literally flipped the switch for him to transform. She just told him to do something very forcefully, right? I can't remember, Alita 1 from the G1 cartoon, so I don't remember exactly how their relationship works, but she forces him to transform and drive away, and as Optimus does this, he leaves behind his Autobots, right? Which is a problem, and I don't know how Alita is willing to do this. I feel like that would go against the Autobot creator or whatever, and we get to see Cliffjumper realize the horror that is going to come upon him because now Shockwave has him, right? This is a problem. Cliff, is drawn and dragged away with horror in his face because he doesn't want to deal with what's going to come next, and it's horrifying. I really loved it. I thought it was amazing. Then, while Spike is in the ship while Spike is inside the Decepticon, randomly an Autobot shows up, one that I don't think we've seen before in the story yet, and he shows up and he's like, "Are you Spike? I'm here to save you." And it was fun, and I really, really liked it. I enjoyed the ending here. I think that this story is just continuously better and better and better. I love Jorge Corona's artwork. I think it's great. If you compare it to Dana Warren Johnson's, from one issue to the next, I do think I like Jorge Corona better, because I think Jorge Corona does everything well, whereas Dana Warren Johnson, his people just don't work for me, right? The way he draws people is just not that great. But his way of paneling and his way of showing action and incorporating sound into the VFX effects into the paneling is way more dynamic than Jorge Corona. So that's a bit different, right? It really depends on what your taste is. But overall, I think that Jorge Corona has not been a step down from Dana Warren Johnson's artwork. It's not necessarily been a step up either. It's just been a new direction that is still quite enjoyable. So I really, really am happy with both of the artwork that we've gotten. I really am excited to see where this story goes next, and there really isn't too much else to say. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and see you guys later.